Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Red with only one Growlithe was a fun solo run. Let's follow that up with a brutal team run. Today's the day that we figure out, would I be able to beat Pokemon Emerald with only poison moves? So when I say only poison moves, I mean that in battle, the only moves we can use are poison type ones. Doesn't matter if they're attacking moves or not, or if our Pokemon are even poison type, just that the moves have to be poison type. I figure this is going to be pretty brutal considering there aren't really that many good poison moves yet. I expect to be using Sludge Bomb a lot. Oh, and we need to have a rule where we can use non-poison moves on steel types, since poison literally doesn't affect them. I know, it sounds like a stupid rule, but I'm pretty sure there's only 2 mandatory fights with steel types in the entire video game, and it would really suck to not make this run for you guys just because of 2 Pokemon. Trust me, this challenge run is so brutal that I really don't think people are going to care about having to suspend a rule for a couple of steel fights. There's a reason this video is late, and it's because this challenge is really hard. Like always, I'm writing the script as I go through with the challenge, so all this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I'm pretty sure that this is gonna be insanely brutal. Between only having Poison Sting for the Rock Gym at the start, and having to figure out some kind of way to win the Psychic Gym double battle later in the run, I think this could be my hardest run in a long time. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Poison type moves, unless I'm fighting a Steel type. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. No need for the Pokemon randomizer on this one, since we can catch Pokemon with Poison Sting on the first round of the game, so I just play until I get Pokeballs, then catch some Wurmple. Now, we need this thing to evolve into a Cascoon, not Silcoon. That's because Cascoon becomes Dustox, and it's part Poison type. It's a really weak Pokemon, but at least it'll give us the same type attack bonus. This process took us a solid 40 minutes, by the way, since the first 2 Wurmples I caught turned into Silcoon instead. We have Poison Sting now though, so for the rest of the run we can only use poison moves in combat. Normally we'd head right for the Rock Gym, but I actually have to grind in the first couple of routes of the game because Poison Sting is so weak that we can only take out 1 Pokemon at a time for the most part. It's really slow, but we only need to hit level 10 to evolve, and then our stats will be at least a little bit better. So I need to get that done before we hit the road. Alright, so will I travel? We all know that the Rock Gym is gonna be the first brick wall, right? Well, the only poison move that I'm able to get before the Rock Gym is Poison Sting. I toyed with the idea of using the Pokemon randomizer to start with something else that could maybe learn Sludge, but I wanted to try and do this whole run the same way you would if you had the game cartridge, since there's a Poison Sting user early in the game anyway. Problem is, that means I have to beat the always horrible Roxanne fight with 1 Pokemon using Poison Sting. Not only that, but our Pokemon is Bug type, so we take double damage from Rock Tomb, a move that Roxanne's whole team has. Plus, both Rock and Ground resist Poison, both types that a Geodude is. So a 15 power move being cut down by 4 times resistance. This isn't good. To say that I'm worried this will take a while is an understatement. I think that we could have to be level 30 just to win. Considering how many potions that they have and how strong Rock Tomb is, I genuinely believe that this initial grind that I'll have to do for the Rock Gym could be a quarter of the playtime of this entire challenge run. I guess I'll have to give the gym a try and see what happens, right? First try at the Rock Gym was at level 14, and we did 4 or 5 damage before we got 3-shot by Rock Tomb. Yeah, this isn't happening for a while, is it? So, this grind. This is a very long grind. Like, longer than grinding ever is at this point. Normally by the time we're around this level, we'd be at least one-shotting the weak, low-experience Pokemon north of the gym. Problem is, we only have Poison Sting, so we can't really one-shot anything yet. The fact that I need to land between 2 and 4 Poison Stings to make a wild Pokemon faint makes this grind take 2 to 4 times longer than normal. Not only do we likely need to be a much higher level than usual for this gym, but we are using by far the weakest move we've ever had to use to beat this gym with. I've beaten Emerald, 20, 30 of these challenge videos now, and this is the weakest move we've ever had to use for this grind. Not only that, but because we're going to do chip damage to them, and they have potions, Roxanne will have tons of chances to actually use them. I legit don't see any possibility of us winning this until level 30, although I'm gonna try a few times earlier than that. The worst part is that we don't even get to dominate the next part of the challenge after that, since we're pretty much just gonna replace Dustox as soon as possible with something that learns better poison moves. So it's likely that the Rock Gym is the only gym we're using Dustox on. So I've got to spend hours on leveling up a Pokemon that's just gonna end up living in the box after this. Then I've got to catch a Gulpin and grind that thing up a ton, since it'll be whatever level I catch it at. Right after that is the Electric Gym 2, and that has a Steel type in it, so we're gonna have to get strong enough that we can beat it with whatever other moves it even has. It isn't until after the Electric Gym that we can catch a few decent Pokemon and actually have a little team. Even then, we're still just mostly relying on Sludge and later Sludge Bomb, so I'm expecting the Psychic Gym later in the game to be absolutely horrible. Maybe even worse than in the Magcargo run. Probably worse than in the Magcargo run. To pull back the curtain a little bit, normally I try to spread the playing of these runs out across like 5 workdays. This time though, I know that's impossible. I'm already 4 hours into this run, and I don't think I'm going to be done grinding for the Rock Gym today. Normally the first day of an Emerald run, I'm supposed to beat the first 2 gyms, but I doubt I'll be done grinding for this Rock Gym until sometime tomorrow. Then that Gulpin grinding, that's probably going to take a good few hours by itself. Then I have to catch Grimer and Coughing, and they'll need to be grinded up. I remember on my Blaine run that a lot of you guys said that you loved the video, but a lot also said that it was kind of lame that I hardly used any of the weaker members of his team, since I mostly just ended up using Arcanine. I get it, fair complaint. Problem is, the solution to that is to grind even more, and I'm one human who, in spite of doing this full time, still can't find time to grind up that many Pokemon in a week. Like, I work 60 plus hours a week on YouTube, and I still don't have time to get that done in 1 week. That is just an inhuman amount of grinding to get done in 1 week. There literally aren't enough hours in the day, so I'll almost for sure need 2 weeks. So that's why this video is no doubt late, if you're wondering why. I'm just assuming at this point it's gonna be late. It's absolutely gonna be late. You guys just want to see me move on with this run though, and I just want to move on with it too. This is probably the least interesting part of the run. There's going to be much more interesting parts later, so we just need to get there. If you want to support the show and help keep this whole thing running in spite of the upload gap, then I very much appreciate any support you want to give me through things like Patreon, Super Chats, and Super Thanks. The show is free, and always will be. Those are just my tip jars if you want to chip in. When runs take multiple weeks like this, it can really throw a spanner in the works, so I really appreciate all of the support. Now, let's see if I can beat the Rock Gym yet. Okay, so the next try at the Rock Gym was at level 20, where we managed to poison Geodude on the first attack, but only took it to half health before we fainted. That was just about all poison damage, mind you. Our actual poison stings themselves seem to only be doing 1 damage, so it's back to the grind. The next couple of tries were at level 24. Interestingly enough, they now use Defense Curl pretty often. I think that is because they know that they can't take us down in a couple of Rock Tombs anymore. It takes quite a few now. We still only do 1 damage with Poison Sting since it's so weak, so really we're just hoping to poison them. We did better, but she's got potions, so we still just lost. Back to the grind. Another 4 levels later. Yeah, things go pretty much the same. I feel like I'm getting diminishing returns, but I think that's mostly just because leveling up is getting slower, and Poison Sting isn't getting stronger. That, and it didn't seem like we could tank many more Rock Tombs than usual. Oh yeah, I forgot to bring it up, but thanks to our ability, we don't get slowed down by Rock Tomb, so at least there's that. Alright, I know you already saw what grinding here looks like, but that was almost 10 levels ago now, so I should probably show you again. We're at the point where we can finally one-shot just about all of the wild Pokemon here, so at least there's that, but we still need tons of experience to level up, and these Pokemon just don't give us much. I mean, we can one-shot most of them, we can still hardly hurt the Nincada, and sometimes our level 29 Dustox can't one-shot level 7 Tailo. What's the highest level we've ever needed a Pokemon to be before we could beat Roxanne? Do you guys remember? The highest I can think of off the top of my head is level 30 with Shedinja. At least I think it was level 30. That was like years ago now. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't think that we can beat the first Geodude at level 30, let alone the whole gym. I was guessing that before, but I was totally wrong. I genuinely think I might have to be something more like level 40, maybe even higher. I mean, Dustox isn't exactly a physical powerhouse. I'm curious, did you guys think when you clicked on this video that this was gonna be one of the most brutal runs I've done? And did you think that the first gym was gonna be this hard? Maybe I'll have to put something in the title or thumbnail to let people know how hard it is, because to be honest, I doubt anyone would read Gen 3 with poison only and think that is anything but my standard Pokemon challenge. Well, I'm happy that you guys are here and wanted to see it at least, because I'm putting some crazy time into this one. Level 33, we're actually doing what looks to be 2 or 3 damage on some of these poison stings, although I think some might still just do 1. We take about 11 damage from Rock Tombs at this point, so we can survive quite a few. For the first time in all of my attempts, we actually ended up slowly taking down the first Geodude. Yeah, it took till level 33 before we beat the first Geodude. Roxanne sent out Nosepass next, but pretty much right away she used Hardened Ton, so we were dealing 1 damage. Our poison did manage to chip away at her, but she's got potions and Nosepass hits harder with Rock Tomb than Geodude did, so we still ended up going down. Still, maybe I won't need to be level 40. More tries a couple of levels later, this time at level 37. Things turn out almost the exact same as at level 33, so that's depressing. Rock Tomb can miss, so this fight is heavily reliant on luck. We need to poison our enemies quickly, and they need to miss a ton of Rock Tombs. It's the only way that I can see us winning. I'm gonna go grind for another hour. Level 38! I actually forgot that this would happen because I never thought Dustox would get to a high enough level when I was first considering this run, but we actually learned Toxic at level 38. Now, you might go thinking that Toxic must make this fight trivial, but nope. Not even close, in fact. We still need them to either miss a ton, or waste lots of time with Harden and Defense Curl. In fact, it took 9 tries until we got this attempt, where we only ended up winning thanks to them using defensive moves way more than they should have, and us getting a lucky crit to get some upfront damage. No word of a lie, the start of this run up until the point of beating the Rock Gym took longer than multiple entire solo Pokemon runs that I've done. Gen 1 Ghastly was so much faster than this. It's unreal. Let's go catch some new Pokemon before I go insane. Okay, so after a long trip, we finally catch Gulpin. It's not exactly the best Pokemon ever, but it evolves at level 26 and learns quite a few decent poison moves. Believe it or not, I think this is going to be our main Pokemon until after the Electric Gym, because I don't see Dustox pulling his weight. He still has Poison Sting and Toxic. He's not exactly a direct attacker. Oh, and of course I have to grind up Gulpin quite a bit. We need him to be ready for the Fighting Gym, since we don't have that one done yet either. At least Gulpin has some real moves thanks to him learning Sludge pretty early. It's not exactly a strong move, but it's a million times better than Poison Sting. Let's test out Gulpin at the Fighting Gym. We got here at level 18, so about the same level range as them. Machop used Bulk Up and Low Kick, but we resisted it, so it wasn't too bad. 3 hits of Sludge took him down. Meditite just tried to power up too, and he got Reflect up as well, but then he just tried for Focus Punch after his Super Potion, so of course he never hit us. I'm actually really thankful that he used that Super Potion, since it ran out the timer on his Reflect. In fact, he used both of his Super Potions on Meditite. He did get to recast Reflect, but we ran that one out too. Recast? That feels like the right terminology to use, but I'm pretty sure it's not. That's not Pokemon terminology. We poisoned him and did great damage, but he took us down. That's alright, Dustox is still crazy over-leveled, and for as weak as Poison Sting is, we double resist his fighting moves, so he did 3 damage. Isn't it crazy that our Dustox using Poison Sting is still weaker than the Gulpin 20 levels lower than him using Sludge? I've really got to bulk up Gulpin. Next up is our rival under the cycling road. First was Wingull, who actually messed us up on the first try really bad with Supersonic, but this time we took it down pretty well. Slugma used Yawn on us, but took 2 shots, so we never fell asleep, and for Grovyle we switched to Dustox to easily take him down with Toxic and Poison Sting. I know, Grovyle, normally we'd pick a starter that makes it so that our rival has their best Pokemon for fighting us, but because I didn't use the Pokemon randomizer on this run, I literally just forgot to pick whatever would make him have Mudkip. Hey, cut me some slack, this run is brutal. I am not redoing that Rock Gym fight just to have a slightly harder fight here. We all know that we could have beaten Marshtomp anyway. Alright, so we're in Mauville. This is the location of one of the 2 steel types in the game that we actually have to fight. The electric gym leader has a Magneton, so we get to use non-poison moves for that. I don't really have a good non-poison move for that, mind you, but at least it's possible. We might have to use Psybeam, and it still will resist it, and Dustox kinda really sucks with Psybeam, so it's not that good of an answer. It's what we've got, though. As we grind up for the electric gym, though, it's time for this week's Chimera ad. Today, we're checking out the Chimera Spring Collection. It's a collection of clothes that the folks over at Chimera picked for warmer weather. They've got short-sleeve t-shirts, polos, some fleece shorts, as well as new heavyweight tees and new pocket tees. They all come in a very wide variety of colors, so you can always find something that matches your look. I speak from personal experience when I say that this stuff is all super comfy, and has been super nice to wear while I've been gardening during a heat wave. Make sure to use the code Mah-Dry-Bread at checkout to get a discount and to let Chimera know that I sent you. You can find a link in the description. Now, I've got a run to continue. On our grind, we ended up evolving Gulpin into a Swalot, and I'm happy that we did because we're a lot tankier now. It came in handy since Voltorb blew up like usual, so we lost almost half of our health. We couldn't one-shot Electrike, but it just used Howl so we didn't take a hit, and third is Magneton, one of the only 2 steel types in the whole game that we have to fight. Just in case you were thinking that being able to use non-poison moves on steel types would somehow make this run easy, we had an awful time fighting it. We got paralyzed right away, Psybeam was doing very little, and we're hitting ourselves in confusion from Supersonic. Not only that, but of course he used super potions on it to keep it up longer. We ended up really lucking out though with Psybeam confusing it and it hitting itself in confusion a few times. It didn't do much, but it saved us from getting hurt more, so we held on with 43 health left. Last was Manectric, and Dustox really didn't last long thanks to paralysis. We hit Toxic though. Because of that, I was able to outlast it with Swalot pretty quickly. I was pretty worried about that fight. I'm really happy it's over. So it's time for a bit more travel, and normally this part isn't too interesting until we can get to Maxie in the Fire Gym, but we've actually got a whole 3 new Pokemon to catch. First is in Fiery Path, where we can catch both a Coughing and Grimer. These are literally some of my favorite Pokemon, with Coughing being my second favorite. Did you know that Poison is my favorite type? I don't remember if I brought that up or not. Anyway, it's cool to get to use Coughing and Grimer since I never get to use them in this game. Plus, Coughing has Levitate, so he might be good for fighting ground types in the future. Grimer took ages to catch, by the way, only a 2% encounter rate for some reason. We also go ahead and pick up Seviper, another Pokemon I've never used in this game. Although I don't think I've used it in any game, if I remember right. It's got a lot of attack, so it might be a pretty fun Pokemon, especially with that brave nature. No poison moves on it yet though, so I'll have to level it up with experience share for a little bit. Now give me just a little bit of time to grind these guys up, and we'll be at the Maxie fight before you know it. Mightyena is first, so we lost some attack to Intimidate, but Swalot's Sludge was still doing a good job. They held on extra long with super potions, but they could hardly hurt us with Bite, so we were pretty healthy by the time it fainted. Camerupt is next, so I sent in Dustox to use Toxic. The first one missed since it wasn't 100% accurate for poison types to use until later generations, but his magnitude didn't do much to us. I just kept using Poison Sting to chip away at him while Toxic built its damage. I don't know why he didn't keep using Ember because it was clearly his best move against us, but thanks to him holding on with his potions, he did manage to make Dustox faint. I just sent in Grimer to tank a hit while Toxic damage finished him off. Last was Zubat, who resists Sludge, but Swalot is too strong and overpowered him. Let's go to the Fire Gym next. Alright, first was Numel, and although we didn't do half his health and damage, Poison pushed it over so it only took 2 hits. He did soften us up with Magnitude though. Slugma was just a one-shot thanks to its low defense. For Camerupt, I sent in Coughing to tank Overheat so that Camerupt would have lower special attack, then sent in Dustox to hit Toxic. It worked great, so I switched to Swalot to finish the job. Camerupt used Sunny Day, but just kept using Tackle, so we didn't take much damage. Last was her real heavy hitter, Torkoal. I sent in Dustox to hit Toxic right away, but we missed and got one-shot by Overheat. It lowers her special attack, but she used a white herb to fix it, so I sent Swalot back in to go for Toxic. This time it worked, but we got taken out by Overheat. I started switching into our lower leveled Pokemon, trying mostly to buy time for Toxic to build power as Torkoal's special attack kept getting weaker from Overheat. As Seviper went down, we had to send in our last Pokemon, Grimer. Torkoal moved from using Body Slam due to its low special attack, and although we got it to red health, she has Hyper Potions. We lasted a shockingly long time, but her 2 Hyper Potions kept her up long enough to take us out. You know what? If we hit Toxic earlier, then I think we would have won that. Let's keep trying this fight. Okay, second try. This time Numel used Sunny Day, so we never actually took damage from the first 2 Pokemon. Problem is, we missed Toxic on Camerupt this time, and thanks to Sunny Day still being active, we took a lot of damage from Overheat. We still took it out, obviously, but we actually lost Swalot and had to finish it off slowly with Dustox, taking almost no damage in the process. Against Torkoal, we still got one shot, but hit Toxic on the first try. Only our weak Pokemon left. First, I sent in Coughing just to have it faint to an Overheat, then Grimer since I figured he was our next weakest. He also got one shot since Sunny Day is still going, but Torkoal lost tons of special attack by this point. Seviper is faster than Torkoal, but Poison Tail doesn't do much, so I was hoping for the best. Torkoal used Sunny Day to waste one more turn, we hit Poison Tail, and on the next tail we landed a crit and survived a Body Slam just for the toxic damage to finish her off. She'd have used a Hyper Potion if that didn't finish it. That was perfect. Now, normally we'd go right to the normal gym since it's next, but I actually want to level up some of the lower leveled Pokemon a bit. Coughing has potential to tank some hits, but it's crazy weak right now with Smog, and I know Seviper will be pretty strong at some point. I just have to invest in them here and there whenever I get the chance. I could probably brute force a lot with Swalot, but I know as soon as we get to the double battle at the Psychic Gym, we'd get brick walled, so I want to make sure that the rest of our team is at least usable by then. But on our way there, I took the Root Fossil. I knew that if I didn't say what I took, you'd all ask. Actually, now that I think about it, everyone ask anyway. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Okay, so this run is already full of long fights, and I don't want to go over every step of obviously failed fights for the sake of everyone's time. The normal gym goes pretty awful. They're mostly faster than us, hit much harder than us, and his team likes to use Facade. That's a move that does more damage if they have a status affliction, like our poison that we keep inflicting. Grinding here is really slow too, so it would actually take a long time to level up all of our low-leveled Pokemon to match them. Plus, Coughing and Grimer don't get any good until they evolve. Swalot is basically our only decent Pokemon here, and it can't do it by itself, at least not at this level. Worst part is that right after the normal gym is when we'd actually be able to get to some routes where I think our poison types could level up pretty easily, instead of fighting things that resist them. Okay, a few tries later, and after leveling the weakest members of the team quite a bit, Grimer is able to two-shot spin to now, and Vigoroth couldn't do much to Swalot. He did land a few hits though, thanks to him healing up with a Hyper Potion, so we were just below half health by the time he went down. Linoona actually managed to finish us off thanks to being faster than us, so we had to send in Seviper to try and finish it off. Of course though, we ended up dropping Linoona to a sliver, so it ended up healing and hitting us even more to take us out. Dustox was able to finish it off with a couple of poison stings, and last is Slacking. Right away I used Toxic, and it missed, but Slacking was using Counter, so he didn't do anything either. Toxic does power up his Facade, but considering Slacking wasted tons of turns and the Toxic still builds on those turns, I used it anyway. He did end up taking down Dustox easily with Facade once he used it, but Coughing was able to finish it off shortly after. Not too bad. With that fight done, we get to travel again. Honestly, I'm just thankful that I'm not grinding super far from where I need to be again. So coming up, we have the last required rival fight and the Flying Gym. The rival fight is probably going to be pretty easy, it usually is, but the Flying Gym is going to be a hard one. They've got Skarmory, the second of the 2 steel types that we have to fight to beat the game, so no poison moves on that one. Problem is, we still don't really have any better moves to deal with it. I think that our best non-poison moves are still Body Slam and Psybeam, both moves that they resist. I don't want to go grab something with a fire type move since that kind of feels like it's against the spirit of the challenge to me. I'm gonna need to be a decent level to win the rest of the fight anyway, so I think I might just try and get Coughing or Grimer to evolve. That way we don't have to rely on Swalot as our only party member who can take a hit and deal some decent damage back in return. Before the Flying Gym is the last rival fight. Slugma went down in one hit between the sludge damage and poison damage, and second was Lombre, who hit Fake Out but just went down to a single sludge thanks to being weak to poison. Last was Grovyle, who hit Screech but was also a one-shot. Sorry May, this just isn't your run. Hey, what if I did a run with May's team and moves? She's pretty weak, that could make for an interesting run. Okay, first try at the Flying Gym. It starts great with Swablu going down in a couple of hits of Sludge, and next was Tropius, who's weak to poison, so it actually went down easily too. Pelipper was kind of annoying because it confused us and we hit ourselves 3 times in a row, but it was just using Protect, so it didn't take advantage. We won after taking a bit of damage. Now is the awful part. The only other steel type we have to fight, and we still have no good moves for it. Skarmory. I'm just gonna put the entire Skarmory fight on fast forward while I generally talk about it because we threw almost our whole team at it. So originally I was thinking I'd use Smokescreen with Wheezing and then Body Slam it down, but as soon as I used Smokescreen I realized that it has Keen Eye and can't lose accuracy. That really ruined my strategy. I still managed to paralyze it with Swalot's Body Slam, but we were hardly doing any damage and ended up just making Swalot faint. I tried Dustox for ages with Psybeam, and thanks to getting to use Moonlight, we could stay healthy for quite a while. But even after entire minutes of hitting Psybeams, we still just went down. When I sent in Grimer, I realized I have Screech, and that would have been awesome before I used Body Slam, but it's too late for that now. I did use Screech until his defense was as low as I could get it, but I had no more physical attacks on the team that weren't poison type, so it didn't end up paying off. Eventually, I just switched to Seviper and kept using Crunch until he went down. Last was Altaria, who used Dragon Dance right away as we hit Sludge with Wheezing. The damage was alright, and we even poisoned it on the second one before going down. All we had left was Grimer and Seviper, so I sent in Grimer, who just got taken out right away, but at least Altaria took poison damage. On the last round, Altaria had a sliver of health and was poisoned, but just took out Seviper with Earthquake. Her last Pokemon ended the fight with what had to have been less than 5 health. That was awful. I'm gonna try again. Next try, and after the first 3 Pokemon go down easily, they sent in Altaria instead of Skarmory, so I just sent in Wheezing early since it's got Levitate to avoid Earthquake. It actually goes really well, partly because the first Sludge poisoned her, and partly because she just kinda used Dragon Dance a bunch. Not really sure why, she probably could have just kept attacking and we'd have fainted, but she just decided to keep using Dragon Dance until we won. Last was Skarmory, so I sent in Grimer to Screech as much as I could, then Swalot to start Body Slamming. We actually got all 3 Screeches in pretty easily despite a lot of accuracy drops. I was kind of worried when Swalot came out since we got Sand attacked right away, but the first try with this strategy actually got us the win. Alright, that means that's the last steel type we have to deal with. Back to poison moves. Alright, so we're going on to the part of the run that I'm really dreading. Like, even more than the Rock Gym earlier. We're not that far from the Psychic Gym. We've got a lot of traveling to do before we get there, but only one big battle, and that's with Maxie, who I don't think will be that serious of an issue. The Psychic Gym, though, that'll be a mess. Now, for a change of pace, this is a team run, so at least we won't be outnumbered, but we'll for sure be outgunned. I mean, they're using 4 Psychic types, plus 2 of them are part Rock and 1 is part Ground, so literally only 1 Pokemon on their team doesn't resist poison. I doubt Toxic alone can get us the win considering how many turns it takes for Toxic to become dangerous, and how few turns they'll need to make us faint. It wouldn't surprise me if I need to evolve Grimer into Muck, then to get Muck and Swalot to level 48 or so that they both learn Sludge Bomb. At least then we'd hit a little harder, but we need Wheezing to be strong too since he can avoid Claydol's Levitate. It's really not a good situation. I think I'm gonna need to grind a ton before we could win that one. So the Maxie fight was actually pretty funny. Mighty Anna is first, so we lost attack to Intimidate, but he kept using Swagger on us, so we ended up powering up quite a bit. Swagger raises our attack but confuses us, so naturally it just backfires on him, and ended up making us so strong that we could take him out. Against Camerupt, we had a really easy time with our powered up Sludge. Plus, he used Earthquake on us even though we had Levitate, so he just missed. Last was Crobat, and this one was surprising. We had to throw our whole team at him one by one to do any serious damage. See, he's got Super Potions, so he can heal. He's got Confuse Ray, so we don't always attack, and he resists our poison moves. We actually cut it really close by the end, as he almost took out our last Pokemon when we finally took him down. I really need to top off Grimer's level. Muck would be a great asset. Last bit of travel before the Psychic Gym. There really isn't much prep work that we can do at this point, just grinding up Grimer a bit and maybe making a Shell Bell. I really don't think that is going to help much, and I'm still pretty much convinced that we're going to have to grind here for ages until we can get at least one Pokemon with Sludge Bomb, but hey, at least we can get the TM for Sludge Bomb now, so we can give it to one of the Pokemon who doesn't normally learn it. I'm thinking I'm going to give it to Seviper. I was going to give it to Weezing since he has the highest attack on the team, but Seviper's attack is almost the same and it's a lower level, so in the long run, it probably makes more sense for Seviper to have it. Plus, it's got an attack nature, so I'm expecting for it to have more attack than anything else by the end of the game. Just a shame that it's a bit frail. I don't think it's going to survive more than one hit of Psychic at best. Okay, first try at the Psychic Gym. We literally did not land a single move other than Toxic until the very end of the fight, and it did almost nothing. They're faster than us, a higher level than us, and can one-shot most of our team. Yeah, somehow I don't think a Shell Bell will win this for us. So, this grind. Isn't it crazy to think that our team is around the same level that our Dustox needed to be just to beat the first gym? Well, at least per Pokemon, this is for sure a faster grind, since I'm at least fighting higher leveled Pokemon. But at the same time, I have multiple Pokemon to grind now, so it's hard to say if it's really faster. So, takeaways from the failed fight. First of all, I didn't think Weezing was gonna get one-shot by Psychic like that. I actually kinda thought that it would be one of our tankier choices, so that has me worried. We're for sure gonna have to level up until we're faster than them. I kinda think Seviper is the way to go since it shouldn't be too hard to level him until he's faster than them, but it's not like he's gonna one-shot Xatu. Plus, even if he did, he'd still go down to Earthquake from Claydol. Speaking of, Weezing was supposed to be my counter to Claydol's Earthquake, but if Xatu can just one-shot him, then that isn't gonna work. Plus, did you see how little damage Swalot's Sludge did to Xatu? That's the only Pokemon on their team that doesn't resist poison, so the fact that it didn't work probably means that we're gonna be stuck for a long time. And I mean a long time. I went from thinking that maybe we'd need to have a couple of level 50 Pokemon to thinking that our team might need to be level 60 each. I mean, other than Dustox, I'm not sure that's worth leveling any more than it already is. Other than Muck and Swalot learning Sludge Bomb by level up, there aren't any better moves that we can get. Toxic and Sludge Bomb are the only poison-type TMs that any of our guys can learn, so we're pretty limited in what we can do. In the Rock Gym grind, I went over how long this stuff takes, right? I think that at the time I was writing about how I didn't think I was going to get that run done that week, and like, I was super right. That was a week ago and here I am, still working on the same run. I've been seeing a big uptick in people saying to just hack in rare candies when I get brick-walled like this, but something like 6 or so months ago when I asked you guys on YouTube how you feel about rare candy cheats, it seems like the general consensus was that you're cool with them in post-game after the credits, but that it cheapens the challenge if used before that. I think I generally agree with that, although some people have fairly pointed out that there's no difficulty to this grind. It just wastes my time and means less videos for you guys. I can't really disagree with that. I guess that's the problem though, right? I agree that only using rare candy cheats after the run is over is fair, but I also agree that there's no difficulty to this grind. The only thing that's special about me doing this grind is that I actually have the patience to do it. I'd argue that still has some value. Anyway, it isn't my decision to make. Well, technically it is. I mean, I write the rules of the challenge, but I'm still just passing this decision off to you guys like usual. I'm just not gonna use rare candy cheats before the Hall of Fame unless the vast majority of you want me to. I know that most Pokemon YouTubers seem to be cool with rare candy cheats nowadays, and that's honestly awesome, because when I started doing these challenge runs back in the day, like 3 years ago now, the comments were very clear that they considered that to be cheating. I'm happy that that's changed because it makes everybody's life better, both for the YouTubers who are playing the runs, and more importantly, the viewers who get more videos as a result. Anyway, this grind is brutally long, and I'm sure that I'll just have to keep grinding more every single time I fail the Psychic Gym, so I'm just gonna try and get tons of levels tonight rather than trying to fight every couple of level ups. We got completely destroyed, so I don't think I'm gonna stand a chance after just a few levels, and it's a real pain to have to get back into the gym every few levels, since it's full of little puzzles that waste your time. I'll at least get the bulk of my team to level 50, then give it some tries. If that doesn't work, I'll do another crazy long grind. None of this trying to fight every level or two stuff. I need to be as efficient as I can with my time if I want to get this done this week. I've never actually had a challenge take more than 2 weeks to beat, and I don't want this to be the first one. I've got videos to make. I'll just take the chance to plug my Patreon one last time and remind you that it's linked in the description of all of my videos, and that it's completely optional because the show is 100% free. Now, I'm gonna go grind for the rest of the day, and in a few seconds, you'll be watching me trying the Psychic Gym some more. Wish me luck. So we start things with Weezing and Seviper. Xatu used Calm Mind right away. That's good. Runs where he uses Psychic usually means we lose. Right away we took out Xatu on the first turn by hitting both of our moves on him, but thanks to him getting poisoned, the second move was unnecessary. I hope that doesn't cost us. Seviper lost a ton of health early to Earthquake as Lunatone came out. We did decent damage to Claydol on the second round, but the second Earthquake took out Seviper, so we sent in Muck, who got hit right away by Psychic, but hung on alright. Weezing and Muck ganged up on Claydol to finally take him out, and now we have to deal with Lunatone and Solrock. Lunatone started building Calm Mind, so he was my top priority. Sludge and Sludge Bomb took it to about a third of its health and poisoned it, as Lunatone just kept using Calm Mind and Solrock made it sunny. Lunatone healed a bit with a berry, but the Sludge and Sludge Bomb combo finished it off, so we have the numbers advantage. Psychic still hit Muck pretty hard, and our moves seem to be doing less damage to Solrock. He took out Muck, so we sent in Dustox to use Toxic, just in case. Weezing ended up losing half of its health to Psychic as we spammed Sludge and Poison Sting, waiting for poison damage to do its job. Right when I thought we had won, he pulled out another Hyper Potion to heal back up. Our attacks didn't do much damage, but at least the poison was getting stronger. They finished off Weezing, so we went down to our last 2 Pokemon. Toxic took him down to red health again, but he used yet another Hyper Potion. We were still doing terrible damage, but thanks to tons of turns of him being badly poisoned, he finally went down. This took 12 tries. There's a lot of luck around if they used Calm Mind or not. That and needing to not get crit, of course. I think that was even more brutal than the Rock Gym. You guys have no idea how happy I am to finally be done that Psychic Gym, but we're not in the clear yet. I genuinely have no idea how the next little bit of the game is gonna go. Okay, well, I assume Archie will be easy since he usually is, although I'm sure his Crobat will take ages to knock out. The Water Gym, though, I don't really know what to expect over there. I know Whiscash will resist us and have Earthquake, so that might be rough, but Weezing has Levitate, so I think it might be okay. Kingdra could be an issue with Double Team, but that's an issue in a lot of runs, so I'm expecting that. Wally right after is always easy, and I don't think it'll be difficult, but I honestly have no clue about the Elite Four. We could just lose to them thanks to being too weak. Plus, Phoebe is going to be an issue since poison moves do half damage to ghost types, so I could have to overlevel for that. Hard to say. Toxic could help carry us. Let's just go take on Archie and see how this goes. Okay, nothing much to recap on this one. They did manage to take down Seviper, but it took his whole team to do it. He didn't stand a chance. Let's go see how the Water Gym goes. First was Love Disc, who confused us but just went down in one Sludge Bomb, so no issue there. We switched to Weezing to get rid of our confusion against Whiscash. It's part ground type, so our Sludge didn't do much at all, as Whiscash just used Rain Dance and Water Pulse on us. I thought we were going to leave it with red health, but on the hit that would have left him with a sliver, he got poisoned. That's awesome, he went down faster from that. Out to Seviper to deal with Kingdra, and right away he started with double team. Our Sludge Bomb did a little more than half of his health and damage, so naturally he outsped us and used rest to heal, then woke up and used more double team. I was getting worried, but then Sludge Bomb crit for a one-shot. That's awesome. Celio hit a weak Aurora Beam after being taken to red health, then healed up with some items, so we just two-shot it right after. Last was Crawdont, who couldn't handle Sludge Bomb thanks to getting poisoned. I love that the last thing he did while he fainted from the poison was taunt us. Last before the Elite Four is Wally. It started fine with Altaria going down in a couple hits of Sludge Bomb without doing much damage to us, but second was Gardevoir. It's faster than our fastest Pokemon, and probably could have one-shot us with Psychic, but she used Future Sight and our Sludge Bomb took her to a sliver. I'm sure Wally could have used a full restore, but we ended up poisoning Gardevoir and it finished her off. That was really lucky. Hey, future MDB here. Apparently during the script writing, I completely forgot there was Delcatty because we took it out so fast that I didn't write it down. That's enough from editing MDB, back to original voiceover MDB. Next up is a problem though. It's Magneton. Not gonna lie, I completely forgot there was another steel type in the game. We don't have Body Slam anymore. I ended up sending in Muck to spam Screech, and I actually had to look at my team to see if I had any non-poison attacking moves left, and yeah, I only have one. It's Rock Smash, a crazy weak move. Well, it's what I've got. I Screeched until his defense was all the way down, then had Swalot spam Rock Smash. It worked great, getting us a two-shot. Okay, crisis averted. I was sweating bullets when I saw the name Magneton show up. Last was Roselia, and it was a one-shot with Sludge Bomb. I can't believe we just almost had a hard Wally fight. It sounds like an oxymoron. Now that we're at the Elite Four, let's take a look at our team. To be honest, I'm really not sure what to expect just looking at our team right now. Sydney is probably easy, and I don't think Glacia will be too hard, but Phoebe resists our whole team, so I'm not feeling confident about that one. Plus, Drake is often an issue just because Salamence is so powerful. Then Wallace at the end with his Tentacruel that resists us, Melodic who has Shed Skin so Toxic won't stick, and Whiscash with Earthquake. This could be pretty hard. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Dark Trainer Sydney. This went great with us totally stomping his team into submission. They hardly even landed a hit on us. What a great start. Second is Ghost Trainer Phoebe. It started alright with us just trying to get Toxic to stick on the first Dusclops. See, they have pressure, so we have to use double the power points every time we fight them. They spam Protect to try and get us to stall out, so Toxic is the way to go. Once it went down, we had to deal with a Bayonet, and that was rough thanks to her having Psychic. We ended up losing our best attacker, Seviper, because Psychic did so much damage. Against Muck though, she sometimes used Shadow Ball for some reason. We didn't really deal great damage, but we managed to take her down after losing a lot of our health. For the second Dusclops, I sent in Swalot to hit Toxic, just to end up getting hit by Earthquake. I switched to Weezing since he has Levitate, then spammed Sludge. It worked eventually, but we almost lost Weezing. I kept him in to hit Sludge on the next Bayonet, and we got taken out quickly, but not before poisoning her. We were able to finish it with Muck, but only had 1 health left. Last was Sableye, so I sent in Swalot to hit Toxic right away. It worked, but she started using Double Team, and our attacks were hardly doing anything. I still thought I stood a chance until she used a full restore to get rid of Toxic. We were doomed after that. It's alright, we're outnumbered and slightly lower leveled than her anyway, so I expected this. I'm gonna have one serious grind session, then come back. Okay, next try, and our team are between levels 55 and 58. I'm gonna be honest, I'm surprised this went so poorly. I'd argue this fight went even worse than the previous few tries at a lower level. There's a lot of luck in this fight around when we can poison them and when they land in red health to then full restore. We can get burned, we can get crits, sometimes Bayonet uses Psychic and sometimes she doesn't. There's a lot of randomness in this fight. I was thinking that we wouldn't need to be level 60, but now I'm really thinking that we do. I'll be back. Okay, more tries at level 60. The first Dusclop goes different this time thanks to it just using Curse and us having to switch out to Seviper to get rid of Curse. Thanks to her using a full restore, the whole fight basically just went back to stage 1, so I just went for sludge bombs. Unfortunately, Viper took some confusion damage and a couple of shadow punches, so it's already not a good start. Things turned around though when we crit the first bayonet to one-shot it so we didn't have to get hit by Psychic. Out to Wheezing for the second Dusclops since I don't want to get hit by Earthquake. We ended up trading shots for ages as neither of us could do very much. It took forever, but eventually he ice beamed us, and we landed with 1 health just as our poison finished him off. That was literally as close as it could have been. As the second bayonet came out, Swalot got burned. That's not good. We landed toxic, but our sludge bombs were doing just about nothing. They knocked us out, but as Viper came out, the leftover poison damage was finally enough to get the feint. Last was Sableye, but we crit a sludge bomb right away for a one-shot. Finally, a win. Third is Ice Trainer Glacia. First up is Celio, who made it hail as we landed a big hit. Our second hit took him out, so it looks like there's a damage range here. Glalie took big damage off Sludge Bomb and hardly did anything with Icy Wind, but we did lose some speed, so she was able to hit a stronger Ice Beam before going down. Out to Muck for the second Celio, and right away we crit for a great one-shot. The second Glalie just started the hail again, then used a full restore, so we had to take a few rounds of hail damage. Then, right after, they exploded and took us out. Alright, well, last is Walrein, and it did hit reasonably hard, but we landed toxic early. We never even got to land a single Sludge Bomb thanks to them critting us for a knockout, so we had to use Sludge Bomb and Viper instead. We got finished off in a 1-surf, and all we had left is Wheezing, but thanks to her berry and poison damage keeping her in the perfect range where she didn't use a full restore, we were able to use Sludge and finish the fight. Fourth is Dragon Trainer Drake. Shelgon is first, and he's got a reputation for wasting our time with Protect, so I tried Poison Tail on turns where I thought he would use his Protect. We lost a little bit of speed to Rock Tomb, but still ended up taking him out just fine. Second was Flygon, and it's got Earthquake, so I used Wheezing to negate it. That forced him to use Flamethrower and Dragon Breath instead, both weaker, but could still mess us up with status afflictions. It took quite a few sludges before we poisoned him, but it didn't matter since he just used a full restore in the end anyway. Sludge wasn't doing much, but it's what we've got, so I just whittled away at him until we fainted, then switched out to Muck. We lost more than half of our health off Earthquake, but managed to take it out between Sludge Bomb and poison damage. I really don't like how that went. Out to Viper for Altaria, and we actually did great damage. His Dragon Dance got him to be fast enough to nail us with a strong double edge, but we got the knockout right after. Same thing happened with Kingdra. He used Dragon Dance to speed up the first turn, but then he used Smoke Screen on the second, causing us to miss, so he got another hit in to bring us to only 8 health as we took him down. Last was Salamence, so I sent in Swalot to eat up the attack loss from Intimidate on something that wasn't going to do too much damage anyway. The plan is just to hit Toxic and try to outlast him, but even after landing an amazing crit, he used a full restore. After that, he took us out, so we can't badly poison him anymore. I started throwing the rest of my team in, but he easily took them down. It's brutal how close that was. Let's get just a few more levels. I'm sure we'll need it for Wallace anyway. Next try at level 65. This one started strange, as halfway through the Shelgon fight, he switched to Flygon. Well, it ended up just giving us a free hit-in on him. Then we switched to Wheezing, where we took him out pretty easily this time. Shelgon came back out, so we finished him with a Sludge Bomb, then we easily took out Altaria in a few hits. For Kingdra, we used Sludge Bomb with Viper and did awesome damage. He just used Surf, so we finished it with Poison Tail. Last was Salamence, so I started with Swalot like last time. After trading hits for ages, Swalot went down and we had to send in Viper. We never managed to get Poison to stick on him for long, but we were able to still eventually just overpower him. Finally, the Pokemon champion Wallace. Wailord is first, so we just hit Sludge Bomb, dealing great damage. His double edge did about 50, as we landed another Sludge Bomb to take him down. Second is Water Onix, so I had Swalot use Toxic. We poisoned him, but he hit Earthquake for tons of damage. Amazingly though, our Sludge Bomb crit to take him to red health, then the poison damage finished him off. That was great! Whiscash is next, so I just hit Toxic right away as he Earthquaked us down. Out to Wheezing, and we just spammed Sludge to try and take him down. We almost did, but he landed in red health and ended up healing back up with a full restore. We poisoned him on the very next sludge, so we were still dealing decent damage, although Surf was really hurting us. Thanks to a crit, though, we hung on with 21 health. Next up is Tentacruel, and Seviper's Sludge Bomb did less than half of his health and damage, as we took lots from Hydro Pump. I used Poison Tail to keep him from going into red to avoid a full restore, as he landed another Hydro Pump to take us to red health. Our next Sludge Bomb took him out. Ludicolo was a one-shot with Sludge Bomb, and last was Melodic. I sent in Muck and started with Sludge Bomb, but he was faster and hit Surf first. Sludge Bomb brought him to below half health, but a berry brought him back to above half. Thanks to that, he hung on from Sludge Bomb and full restored. We brought him back down to below health, took a Surf that left us with only 11 health, then landed the finishing blow to win the fight. With that victory, we get into the Hall of Fame and win the run. Normally, I'd try the Steven Stone fight, but he's mostly got Steel type, so we'd have to put aside the Poison rule for, like, most of the battle. I think I've already spent plenty of time on this run. I've got to get to work on the next one. I really hope you guys like that run. The next challenge should be up next week on Saturday, like usual, with the return of non-Pokemon challenges when I do Elder Scrolls Oblivion as a Necromancer. I'm super pumped for it. Those Oblivion runs are always really, really fun to play. And don't worry, there's going to be more Pokemon challenges the week after that. Pokemon challenges aren't going away. If you've only watched the Pokemon challenges, though, and you've never watched any of my non-Pokemon challenges, I've done Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas and Skyrim and Oblivion. All of them are really fun, and I made sure that my first challenge in every one of those games, I kind of go over the whole plot and exactly what we're doing, so those of you who have never played those games can still have a fun time watching along with everybody else. I've had quite a few comments from people who said that they don't know anything about Elder Scrolls or Fallout, but they still enjoyed it, so that's my sign that I think I did a good job. As always, I'm looking forward to your suggestions in the comments in the challenge request section of my Discord channel and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. Outro time. I don't want to go super long on this one because, man, this episode was long enough already, right? Like, I'm looking at the time code of this voiceover and how long the script is and everything, and this is probably going to be my longest run since either the Brilliant Diamond one or the Christmas one. Which one was longer? Brilliant Diamond was like 55 minutes video. The Christmas one in Black 2. My only Black 2 run, by the way, if anyone wants to go watch that. That was, what, like an hour long or something? Something like that. And I think this is going to be roughly around there. Sorry it took an extra week to do. It was a lot of work to do this one, and I say was a lot of work. It was a lot of work when you're watching this. It still is a lot of work to me right now because I'm doing the voiceover, which means I need to, you know, edit the voiceover and then edit the entire video. All while doing an Oblivion run on the side, because there's never enough time in the day. Anyway, I saw that a bunch of you guys started finding my old Oblivion with only Illusion Magic run, which, honestly, one of my favorite videos I have ever made in my entire history making videos. Not just counting, like, Pokemon challenges, not just counting challenges in general, I'm counting, like, the 13 or something years that I've been on YouTube. Why not? I'll even count all the years I was editing in high school, editing video then. It's just one of my favorite videos I've ever made, Oblivion with only Illusion Magic. That was such a blast to make. Anyway, I saw that a lot more people are seeing that than ever before. It seems like it's getting pushed more in suggested videos and homepages by YouTube. I have no idea why they just decided to start promoting those videos now, my old non-Pokemon runs, considering most of them are like 2 years old or something by this point. I have no idea why I decided just now is the time to do that, but I'm unbelievably grateful that it is, because I like doing those runs, and it's really cool that some people want to watch those ones too. I think it's always really cool whenever people want to check out more of the variety of things on my channel, because it means that I get to spend more time doing other things as well. And although I really love doing the Pokemon challenges, I wouldn't do them if I wasn't having fun with them, because they are quite a bit of work. It's always nice having variety, and it's always nice being able to do other things and to share all of the other things I'm passionate about with you guys, because I'm passionate about more than just Pokemon and pro wrestling. I like other video games too, as you probably know if you've looked at the list of games I've covered on this channel. What with me playing literally hundreds of games on this channel, with literally thousands of Let's Play videos of many a game. What have I put up? 6,000 Let's Play videos? Almost 6,000 Let's Play videos? I know it's like over 7,000 videos on the channel total now. Something crazy like that. Anyway, I'm rambling way too much. I gotta get on editing this voiceover, and I gotta start that fun Necromancer run in Oblivion, so I'm gonna go make some lunch, and then I'm gonna get right on that. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.